Welcome back, everybody. Time for another episode. Orange County's largest mixer, where business meets business, where people go to connect with one another, find out what's happening in their community. From the man who's been bringing people together all over for a long time, Steve Bernhardt. Hey, Steve.
Hello, sir. How are you today?
I said it's Orange County's largest mixer because I'm all excited about this one coming up right away, but you actually have mixers all over the place. Talk about those for a second. You do three or four of these.
Yeah, Orange County's largest mixer is the most important largest mixer event, correct?
For us on Orange County Talk Radio, absolutely, yeah.
Coming up on March 28th. But no, actually, the largest mixer is 4 annual events. We always kick the year off with Orange County, in this case, March 28th. Then we'll head up to Los Angeles. So if you're an Orange County business person and you do a lot of business in L.A. or want to do more business in L.A., you should come and talk to us. That is July 18th at the Pasadena Convention Center. Great facility.
Yeah.
And then we travel across the desert for the 15th annual Las Vegas's largest mixer on September 19th, and that's at the beautiful Texas Station Hotel and Casino. Great event. Again, Southern California business person, want to do more business in Vegas. Maybe you're one of those Southern Californians who are thinking about relocating to Las Vegas.
Yeah, one of the many.
It is a suburb now of Southern California. That's September 19th. And then we always wrap up the year with the Inland Empire's largest mixer, and this year will be the 13th annual. And we are returning to the Ontario Convention Center on November 6th, Wednesday, November 6th. And we're happy to be back. We moved that over to Riverside last year and decided to bring it back to its roots, which is Ontario, and we're happy to be there. So, again, if you really want to cover all of Southern California, you can get a little Orange County, a little L.A., a little Inland Empire, all through the largest mixer events.
Any thought of expanding into the coming years? San Diego, Palm Springs, Santa Barbara? I can think of just a couple other outlying areas in the greater Southern California marketplace here.
You know, we have had some people reach out to us from like San Diego, and we've looked at Phoenix.
That'd be another one.
You know, there are definitely plans and interest to expand. I really honestly, though, kind of getting off track here a little bit, just about behind the curtain, but I think the best opportunity for us right now, to be honest with you, is another LA event. A couple of years ago, we moved LA's largest mixer from a more centralized location out to Pasadena.
Yeah.
And Pasadena is a fantastic home for LA's largest mixer. We love it there. It's been
But LA is so geographically large. You could do probably 3 of them. You could do one in sort of the downtown or west side, and then you could do one way out in the Pasadena market, that end of the valley, and then probably the San Fernando Valley somewhere, too. You could probably do 2 or 3.
I think you're right on the money. So I think we've started, that the biggest challenge is venues. Mm-hmm. We're too big for most facilities.
For the typical hotel type of place.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
And so we really are kind of forced into, we need, 20, 25, 30,000 square feet. And you would think, it's no big deal. You can find it here or there. Really, honestly, there's not a lot available. And so sometimes we're just very thankful for the venues we have. So I think we have located on the west side, out probably by the airport area, a great and very unique facility that could accommodate a largest mixer event. And so we've talked with them, and that's a real possibility in 2020 that there may be I don't know, we haven't named it yet, but another LA-based...
I'd say the west side. Everybody thinks of it as the west side. I don't know. There is no real east side, but that's sort of Pasadena. But it's typically, having lived in that area for a number of years a long time ago, there was the valley, there was the west side, and then there was that, Burbank out to Pasadena, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, so there's definitely in the works. San Diego, I think, would be a great opportunity. Like I said, we've looked at Phoenix before. That's an interesting market. So I think I may have said this on a past podcast. I'm a believer that I think every city in America should have a largest mixer event. And
that's a perfect segue to what I was getting at before our topic today here. It seems like this is a unique entity. Are there other similar types of events around the country, or am I just missing them?
Well, it depends on how you define it. Probably another large scale that travels the country kind of a thing is called the Small Business Expo. So there's a networking element to it. There's a business, showcasing element to it. but it really is, driven by a thing called Power Team International, which is kind of a motivational speaker, business coaching, that kind of thing. That's really what it's a front for.
Right.
I think it's an amazing model.
Brings people in to hear those speakers, right?
Correct.
Yeah, right.
Correct. So that's, maybe, and they're in a lot of the same cities they're in LA. They're in, I think they do an Orange County event. But maybe that'd be the closest. And then obviously, there's a lot of, I guess for lack of a better term, smaller events, all the networking events that are going out there. And there's a lot of professional organizations that put on mixers and that kind of stuff. But
right.
I think kind of what we do, to be honest with you, it really is kind of unique. So
it seems like it. It seems like, and it seems like it could be a model for other things. It obviously grew out of a bunch of chambers getting together and saying, why are we doing all these little chamber mixers? Why are we doing all these little chamber business fairs? Why don't we combine into a bigger event, particularly because people don't just do business in our one town, in our one little segment of the community here. Why not bring everybody together? And there are more and more companies that want to. If you're in Orange County, I mean, there's how many chambers just here in Orange County? There's 34 cities. I know they don't each have a chamber, but there's got to be half a dozen or more chambers here in Orange County alone.
Yeah, I think we have 15.
15 there, yeah.
Orange County's largest mixer, and there's a couple that haven't participated for whatever reason. So yeah, there's probably a good 20, 22. And again, you'll be able to capture.
So rather than go to 22 small events, why not pull those together? Because Orange County is kind of one market, has one newspaper, has one mentality here. People tend to do business within Orange County, and it's not just within one town. So it just seems like it was a great idea. That's obviously grown from the one event. I guess the original one was up in L.A., right? And then
correct. Yeah, the original event is LA's largest mixer, which is going to be 21 years this year.
Wow, amazing. Well, I applaud you for taking this to the next level. I look forward to growing either further. And it's a unique hybrid event. There is obviously, I think of it as kind of a business fair. There's 130 plus exhibits there, including 15 different chambers. Rare opportunity to see all these different businesses, and particularly all these different chambers, and meet what they're doing. And maybe you should be involved in more than one chamber here. Maybe you want to find out what other opportunities are available. Maybe you're thinking of expanding into other cities here. All of that is something you don't see many places here. And then there is the part that people associate with mixers, the networking part of it here. But talk about how you combine both of those, because that's a unique thing in and of itself. It's not just a business fair. It's not just your typical mixer at a hotel where everybody's got a cocktail in hand. It's kind of a combination of both here.
Well, I mean, that's how I define the event, as a large-scale business networking event. And there's a lot of different ways people come to our event to do that. You obviously can come as an attendee, either as a solo or with some of your colleagues. Wander
around, look at the exhibits, start there, and then go over. You've got some actual networking places where people can do the typical networking. Hi, how are you? I'm Paul. What do you do?
Sure, kind of sure. And then obviously you've alluded to, we have our exhibiting businesses. And what I always think about that, and the way I define it for people is that I don't think our exhibiting businesses are all that much different than our people that come as attendees that aren't exhibiting.
You talk about that, yeah. You talk about that.
Exhibiting is like having a giant business card. So say you're now in a room with 1,500, 1,800, 2,000 people, and what's a quick way to stand out? What's a quick way to draw people to you specifically?
Exactly.
And that's to have a booth, I guess, for a lack of a better term. I hate using the term booth because it does sound trade showy, but a booth is a booth. And,
a table, a display, some people there. So they come over to you rather than you standing. Typical networking event, there's a few people kind of standing in the middle. There's a few people running around frantically. And then the rest of us poor souls are kind of standing there over by the bar or over in the corner feeling awkward and wondering why more people don't come over and talk to us.
And we're going to talk about that a little today. We don't want you feeling awkward at the largest mixer.
Right.
But again, I mean, when you look at some of the different businesses that are there, like Huntington Beach Staffing, for example, just came on board as an exhibitor. Mm-hmm. But if you're somebody who works as a service to a staffing company, or is looking to in some way work with a staffing company.
Find a staffing company
now
looking for one.
You've got an opportunity right there to meet them. You know what I mean? And so to me, that's no different networking, but you just identified them as Huntington Beach Staffing because they were exhibiting. You didn't just
rather than wander the whole room trying to find that person you're looking for, you can see them over there. They've got a display, and you can find them. All right, so let's go into the topic today here. We've talked about event marketing. How do you make the most out of that space that you purchase at a trade show, at a networking event, at any kind of event? There's always some booths there. We've talked about that event marketing, how you get that. You called it a 25-25-50 rule. 25% is getting ready, 25% is getting it set up and running the booth right, and half of it's what you do afterwards here. It almost seems like the reverse. Maybe you get a different theory, but it almost seems like a reverse equation for networking. It seems like half of your effort's got to go into figuring out, what do I want to get out of this? Who do I want to meet?
Sure. Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean, and maybe let's just kind of maybe touch on this really quick. Networking, the term networking has changed a lot for a lot of, it now means so many different things for so many different people.
Right.
But let's just quickly define it so we're just all on the same page. Networking, the way we look at it, is having a spectrum of relationships with people that may be in complementary types of businesses. So one of them is, the easiest example always is to pick a realtor. So if a realtor wants to know a home inspection service, they want to know a lender, they want to know a handyman,
right?
They want to know all these different things because these are things that all complement their business. They're also they
make them successful, right?
Exactly, yeah. and they can refer each other to one another. So, example, if a handyman is in a house and a guy says, I'm thinking about fixing this house because I want to sell it, well, then they got a relationship with the realtor. They could refer the realtor, and then the realtor they contact the realtor, and the realtor can say, oh, you need a loan. So here I got a mortgage lender that I work with. And so that's building a network. And every business person should have a network,
right,
or a series of partners that they can refer business to.
Your go-to partners when you need somebody.
Refer business to you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. It works both ways. You've got to, in the performance of your duties, find some other people to do business with, and if they don't perform their services well, it's going to look bad on you, and it's going to impact your ability to do what you're supposed to do, I guess.
Sure.
In the
you definitely
example.
want to surround yourself with exactly people you trust, and are going to do it. If you refer somebody to somebody, they're going to come through for you. But so that's really what So what the largest mixer is all about is we're bringing these people together, and if you're trying to create that network, you're trying to grow it. You may have right now. You may have sometimes it's a common term. Sometimes they're power partners. People that have a direct relationship to what you do, and you can refer business back and forth to one another, and multiply the power of your reach. So some people come and maybe you don't have anybody. So this is a good event to come and reach out to some people and see if there's you can identify and meet somebody who might be one of those kind of partners that you can develop business with long after the event.
Right.
Or maybe on the other hand, maybe you've got you've got a large network of people already, but maybe you have some holes in that network. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or you can expand that network.
You don't like your title company if you're a realtor or something, or you're looking for somebody that can do better home inspections than the last three guys that flaked out on you here.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a good environment where you can come in and get exposed to a lot of people. And I always say, if you just come to our event and you come walking away with one really, really solid contact that you can follow up with after the event to develop a relationship with that could go on for years, that could produce results for years, I say it was a winning evening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So that's
you're talking about. Think about what you would spend at the time, energy, and money to go find those partners. Let's say you just did it the old-fashioned way. You started dialing for dollars, or you cold called some people, or you called around to other friends that we're using the realtor example. Other realtors, hey, who do you use to do this service here? And then you got to go meet them. And you got to set up a time, and you bounce back and forth 10 times until you finally get together. And then you're not going to probably meet at their office or your office. You're probably going to go meet some neutral ground like a coffee shop or something, or lunch. There's an expense. There's time. There's a lot of time, effort, and money finding, connecting with, and just meeting them. Sure. And if it doesn't work, now you start all over again. Whereas if you go to an event, you might be able to meet two of those people or three of them, and you do it all in combination with meeting other people here.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I always think. I always look at our event as that efficiency element.
Yeah, right.
Where we give you an opportunity at least once a year. I mean, it's not to say that you aren't doing a lot of other smaller events throughout the year to develop these networks, but our event is that opportunity once a year to come into an environment where, there's a lot of opportunities to meet a lot of people in one evening.
And people who are looking for the same thing. They're all going there for the same reason. So you're not suddenly trying to, at a that's what I don't like about the cocktail party feel to too many of these things. They take on a different social atmosphere, and you're torn between, should I just be social and hanging out and getting to know people? Hey, how are you? And go there and make a bunch of pals, or am I going there for a purpose? Am I going there just to, and there's value in all of that. There's value in having a social setting where there's no pressure to do anything. That sometimes works, but that's a long-term strategy as opposed to a once-a-year event. I got to go find this person, this person, this person. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. So it's like I said, and I've always, and there's a lot of reasons. Obviously, some people come there to looking for clients. Some people come there looking for partners. Some people come looking to expand their network. That's really where I think it's most effective. If you're really coming here to take off your sales hat, come to this event, because you'd be quite surprised how many quality people you could meet that you could build a relationship with afterwards that could help you with your sales efforts, down the road by, them referring friends, family, colleagues, those types of things to your business. But again, it's a two-way street. So make sure you are also returning the favor.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break and let that sink in, and we're going to do a quick reminder of the event coming up here, the Orange County's largest mixer. And then we come back, we're going to talk about how do you take off your sales hat? Because, boy, that's hard. I don't think most people know how to do that and just be real and honest and open. Too many of them just want to run around and pass out as many business cards in the allotted time and end up like a chicken with their head cut off running around the room here. So let's come back and talk about how do you work one of these rooms here? What's the best approach? How should you show up, and what should you expect when you go to something like the Orange County's largest mixer? We'll be right back and talk about that right after this. And this is, if you haven't realized by now, a spot regarding the next largest mixer, which here in Orange County is coming up very shortly. For those listening live, it's Thursday, March 28th from 4 to 8, just 4 power-packed hours over at the Orange County Fair and Event Center. The big building, you've all been there before, the hangar, that's where this will be. And there'll be literally a couple thousand people there, 120, 130, 150 booths, something like that, and 15 different chambers. I always think that's an important point because you're not just meeting an assortment of businesses, you're meeting other people that can help you connect in those communities and help you do business in those communities. This year we've got some additional things we're trying out, including some speakers. There'll be 5 speakers that you can listen to as well throughout the afternoon, early evening. One's talking about how to create a winning mindset. Lisa Reed from Productive Learning, who's been on this network several times. Powerful talks. 5 tips to talk so your buyers listen. That's something we're going to get into. Cynthia Trevino from She Markets Mentor will be there from 5:30 to 6. Learn to network exactly like we're talking about. Learn to network like Elon Musk. Boy, couldn't we all do that? Randy Kirk from SoCal Masterminds will be there. And yours truly will be closing out the conversations on how to grow your business through podcasting. This medium we're talking about, the ability to talk to people and start conversations. Any and all of these things fit into the whole idea of going there and mixing with other businesses and learning from them, meeting them, and hopefully making some power connections. So I hope to see you there at the next largest mixer, which happens to be here in Orange County, Thursday, March 28th, 4 to 8 at the Orange County Fairgrounds. All right. Really, I hadn't thought about it till I was talking about this in the commercial break here. It really does lots of ways to connect with people. We view these podcasts as a way to talk, not just to people, but with people, because they're interviews, they're conversations, and you can eavesdrop in on those conversations or you can participate in them when we do them live. You can tweet, you can call, you can do all sorts of other things. The same thing holds with this mixer. You can go there with the idea to build your referral network and your power, what do you call them, power connectors? I never heard that term.
Yeah, power partners.
Power partners. To connect with people, to make real connections that are going to last beyond the event. And, of course, everybody hopes that they'll get a client out of this as well. The most powerful connection of all, the one that pays the bills. But too often, we are so eager to do that. It's like I've been married for 30 plus years, so the last time I dated was in the Reagan years, but I remember vaguely going to bars during that period of time, and it's just so painful hoping to meet someone that you can go out with, if you're single, and to find someone. And so it feels forced. It feels phony. Networking kind of feels like that. It's sort of like speed dating. Everybody's running around the room saying, what do you do? Yeah, okay, I'm not interested. What do you do? I'm not interested. Oh, great. Here, take one of my cards. And they're looking over your shoulder the whole time, see if there's somebody more interesting to talk to. It doesn't feel genuine. It doesn't feel like you really make lasting connections out of so many networking things. How do we avoid that?
Well, I think a couple things about the largest mixer is, one, come and with the idea that everybody there is comfortable in a networking environment. They're there to meet people.
They came to connect. They wouldn't be there otherwise.
They came to connect. Right. So when you see somebody, if you just see them standing there, if you're in one of our lounges and maybe we have a couple of bars or that type of thing. If you just see somebody standing there, don't be hesitate to just walk up and introduce yourself, because it's natural in the environment in which we're in. That's what we're about.
And I don't think most people are comfortable doing that. Most people, even if you're a salesman, and most small business owners are part salesman and part something else. They run the company and they help make the sales. Most people just aren't that bold. They don't just walk up to strangers in an elevator, at a restaurant, at a place they've never been to before. But whereas that might seem strange to stop somebody on the street and say, hey, you're looking for an insurance agent, it shouldn't be strange. Don't think of it as strange at an event like this. Everybody came to meet somebody.
Yeah, like I said, that's what people come here to do. It's to meet other business professionals. Everybody should have a name tag on. So what's the quickest way to approach somebody is by their name, right? So, if you've got your own business, so make sure when you come to an event like ours, if you don't bring your own name tag, we're going to provide you with one, because that's the quickest way to break the ice is with somebody's name. Right. And do
you suggest? I always wonder about this. This is a simple little question. It's only got, 2 inches by 2 inches, or maybe 3 inches by 2 inches, little tiny white space you're going to write on there. Should you just put Paul? Should you put Paul Roberts, or should you put Paul Roberts OC Talk Radio? I'm always torn between being palsy and just putting Paul on there, which doesn't tell them much, or because I sometimes think if I put my business name on there, it provokes a conversation. Oh, what is, Joe's consulting service here? What is OC Talk Radio? It sort of opens up a natural first question.
Sure. No, I think it's a great idea. And whatever you're comfortable with. I'm comfortable with just being Steve. But some people haven't put your last name on there. And if you're right, if you can put your business on there, it's not a bad idea. You're right. That could be the icebreaker for somebody. They could look over and see you're with OC Talk Radio, or you're with you're with Poppy Bank, or you're with I'm just kind of looking here.
Accounting or something. I don't know.
Whatever you might be with. I'm just looking at kind of our lineup here. That definitely could also create a conversation really quick.
Yeah, staffing. If I was looking at, there's 4 people, and I sort of glance over, and I happen to see one of them says staffing, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to zero in on that guy. If it just says Joe, I don't know that's somebody I really want to go talk to.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, I think that's the more information you can provide, but you're getting a standard name tag can only produce so much.
Yeah, right.
But a lot of professionals have their own name tag, so I bet you half the people that come to the event will have their own name tag, which is usually on a has a company on there or some kind of identifier. So
it's on some sort of lanyard around your neck or something.
Yeah, so I think it's that's definitely
that's something I never thought about going to making my own. I'm usually trying to wing it as I'm there, and then I'm always trying to fumble around and write my name, and I have poor penmanship, and that doesn't help. So that's a thought. Maybe you come with your own name tag.
If you're going to be in a networking environment, a name tag is a must. And so to have one that you have made, they're not expensive. For $10-12 you could have a really nice one made, and with the company name on it, logo, your name, title, whatever you want on there.
Yeah, I never.
And, I think
there's a silly little takeaway. I would have never gone to a million networking things. I never thought of bringing my own badge. Okay, that's one.
Yeah.
Be bold.
Business cards.
Go up.
Cards.
But how do you?
You'd be surprised if people actually come to our thing and say, "Do you have a business card?" Oh, I don't bring any.
Yeah, I know.
That's like saying, "When I didn't come, I didn't bring my hair." You know what I mean?
I came to the restaurant, but I didn't bring my wallet. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
all right,
bring your business cards, because it's still a business card. Business card is still an important tool in the world of business. And,
well, it's the takeaway. It's what you take with you and leave. All right, so we're armed and ready to go. We walk up. We take that deep breath and we walk up and say, okay, for the next couple hours, I'm going to do what I don't do normally. I'm going to walk around and say, hi, how are you? Yep. Now, how do you get out of that fake, phony feeling? Hi, how are you, Steve? How's your business? Great. My business is great, too. Okay, well, I guess we're both great. And then we sort of fumble away from each other here.
I think the most important thing when you engage somebody is like I said, one, we've already said the thing, take off your salesperson hat. You know what I mean? I think if you go into a situation like you feel like you are going to engage somebody because you're going to try to sell them something, yeah, that's a lot of pressure, right? But you're not. I mean, you're here just to meet these people.
Right.
We talked about, just as we talked about, the 50% of success for our exhibitors comes after the event through the follow-up. That's 75% for the attendees. You know what I mean? It's the connections you're going to make there. Are going to, the value is what you're going to do after the event. So this is an event to meet the people.
But there is an art to working the room. There are people that even do books and seminars on that. How do you should you be funny? Should you have an opening line?
Should be yourself. I think there's some people that do it. They have that, and I have one that has a tendency to be a little bit of a wisecracker or humorous, trying to take kind of a humorous angle.
I've seen that.
That's what comes natural for me. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of how I kind of disarm people a little bit. Is I don't know. I might make a joke about that it's like their tie. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that is a tie. I wish I had the courage to wear. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Or something like that, and boom, all of a sudden you're in a conversation. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you have to have a line for everybody, but should
you have an elevator pitch for your business? Should you have?
It's not a bad idea. We will actually do. I think you mentioned something about speed networking or speed dating. We will actually do 3 speed networking sessions, which I can find can be invaluable to meet a lot of people in a large room like this in a short period of time. And that's definitely where you're going to need your, I guess they call your 30-second elevator pitch, which is just is the basic standard. Who I am, what do I do, and who I'm looking to network with.
Right, and that's not easy. That's something you should almost practice and have ready, because too many people fumble over that when somebody walks up and you've got a little, cocktail napkin with with a drink on it and something else, and then suddenly you got something in your mouth and somebody says, "Hi, how are you?" and you're sort of fumbling with all this stuff you're holding, and then suddenly you're trying to spit out your answer here, and you can look kind of stupid doing that. And then people are like, "Oh, I guess that's not the guy."
I agree with you. Doing a little rehearsal is not a bad thing. I'm belonging to a couple of different groups, and how we actually start some of our meetings is everybody stands up and gives a 30-second pitch. And so I do it quite often, and I really do, to have a solid pitch that in 30 seconds you can let the people in the room or a new person that you meet know who you are, what you do, and especially, again, in the world of networking, who you're looking to network with.
Yeah, that would be, I've never thought of that, of saying in that 30-second pitch, "Hi, I'm Paul from OC Talk Radio, and I'm here today because I'm really looking for, I don't know, a new accountant or something."
Sure.
Boy, everybody would all the accountants in the room would just run over to me here, the minute I say that. That'd be great.
Well, the person that you might meet might not be that accountant, but that person, again, this is networking. They may have their brother-in-law.
They might know an accountant, right? Hey, let me tell you about an accountant. Right.
Hey, let me refer you to this person. And that's how the networking works. It's about referrals. I was reading something not too long ago. They said for small, medium-sized businesses, 65% of all sales come through a referral.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
So if you understand the power of referrals to help your business, you start to understand the power of business networking.
In a world of social media where we place such importance on having thousands of followers and people who like us and subscribe to our blog, it still comes down to that personal one-on-one connection, and that's what these events are really all about.
Yes, it is. So, but lots of, like I said, I just want to encourage people, if you're kind of a wallflower or whatever, don't feel that way when you come to the largest mixer. I'll tell you, we'll meet you right there at the door. We'll break the ice with you right there, and it's going to be a friendly environment. Like I said, that's what people come here to do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and it's fun. It's my high is to come in and watch all these people engaging with one another. There's a ton of energy in the room.
It really is,
and it's just it's a great time. So
but come prepared. Maybe you bring your own badge. Maybe you have a target list of what you're looking to get out of it. Maybe you tell people that in your 30-second pitch as you introduce people to who you are. And don't be shy. be ready, be prepared, and make the most of the time when you're there. Okay.
And look for the schedule when you get just last couple things on the OC Mixer. You can go get more information at ocmixer.com. But we do have some schedule, like you spoke about. We do have the speakers that I think are going to be invaluable this year. We do have speed networking sessions going on the top of the hour at the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock
I'll have to try
hour.
that. I've never really. I've always sort of steered away from that. I'm going to
I
put myself in a.
Yeah, I used to be the same way, and I'm just the opposite now. I will go out of my way to go to a speed networking event now.
Really?
Because I think it's really an efficient way to connect with people.
Always seems like it is, but it just seems so artificial again. But
No,
if
I
you're
love it.
prepared
Like I
and
said,
you know how to do this, and maybe you practice it a few times, maybe it's just that I need to get over the fear of doing it and do it a few times.
Yeah, you do it a couple of times, and you're like, and it's like second nature. But it really is a good way to meet a lot of people really quick, and some of them you don't connect with at all, and some people become lifelong clients. So, but I always say you can never develop a relationship with somebody you never met, and that's really what the largest mixer is about. Come out here, meet some folks. You may build it into 5 new great relationships that spur your business and energize your business to another level. Or you might meet one person that you develop something real positive over the years. You know what I mean? But again, if you didn't come, you would never meet that person.
Ask yourself one question: what else are you going to be doing during that 4 hours on a Thursday? At the end of the day, here, you're probably not working. Maybe you'd be sitting in traffic and going home. Would you rather moan about it and groan about how you can't meet people and connect with people and find clients and find referral partners and do all these things, or put yourself out there, pay your $20, walk in the door, and be part of an opportunity to connect with people? I think that's what this is really all about. All right, well, fascinating conversation here, both the last couple of shows we did, and I look forward to the one coming up here. And I hope we'll have more of these conversations as time goes on here, because I think there's a lot more to this than meets the eye, the power of bringing people together and connecting them one-on-one.
Well, excellent. I appreciate the opportunity that we've had, and we look forward to seeing everybody on the 28th of March. And if you're having a hard time meeting anybody in the room, tell them ask for Steve. I'll come find you.
Steve will make sure it happens there.
I'll make sure. We'll get you going.
Okay. Thanks. Well, that's it for another episode of the Largest Mixer Show, Largest Mixer Show. Orange County is coming up right here Thursday, March 28th at the Orange County Fairgrounds. Stay tuned as we bring you more episodes, bringing people together.